Hypixel Skyblock, there are a lot of enchantments. Some keep you alive in a pinch, and others give you ludicrous damage. However, there is no enchant more expensive and with a greater story than Chimera. Today, we will see how Chimera rose to the top of any endgame player's arsenal, and how it has dropped to near worthless. This is the rise and fall of Chimera. Part 1. Chimera Release. Chimera was first added to the game with the very first Skyblock mare, Diana. This event was very challenging on release, with mobs having tens of millions of HP and doing insane damage. Of these challenging mobs, one of them posed an additional challenge, the Minos Inquisitor. Boasting 40 million health and increased attack damage, even the strongest players could often get one-tapped by the Inquisitor. Because of this, it took a while for the first Chimera books to enter the economy. On release, many were excited about these new books. However, Chimera 1 was too bad to be worth using. To unlock the full potential of Chimera, the very first Chimera 5 book would need to be created. Introducing Refraction. With a massive net worth and coins to spare, he saw the potential in the Chimera 5 enchantment. However, instead of putting it on an already established strong weapon, he decided to do something no one ever thought of. By putting Chimera 5 on his Daedalus axe, he was able to quadruple pet stats on the weapon. However, it was all for nothing, as the Daedalus axe's base stats were simply too low for it to be any good. Part 2. The Rise of Chimera. Chimera would be in the shadows for a few more months until a major change was implemented, which turned this enchantment around. With the release of Floor 7, the sheep pet was granted base ability damage as a pet stat. It didn't take long for very rich players to make the leap of faith, spending over 1 billion coins on their Hyperions. And this was certainly worth it. Chimera 5 added the 20% ability damage, or 26% if the sheep had a Minos relic, to the Hyperion. This ability damage scaled with Dungeon Scars and Catacombs level. This granted players over 300 ability damage in dungeons, and Hyperion could do almost 40 million damage to regular dungeon mobs with just the right click. Chimera soon became the #1 goal of most dungeon sweats, and even poorer players would try and get a Chimera 3 or Chimera 4 Hyperion. That's how good it was. In the subsequent months, admins nerfed Chimera pretty badly, by making ability damage no longer scale with Catacombs levels. However, that didn't matter much. There was still no weapon better for clearing than the Chimera 5 Hyperion. Even when Master Mode released, a Chimera Hyperion did enough damage to clear easily and things were going great. That was until Enderman Slayer was released. Part 3. The Fall of Chimera. Overnight, a Chimera 5 Hyperion went from a top tier weapon to pretty average, with the release of the Juju Sherpo and the Terminator. Although the Chimera enchantment and the Hyperion were not nerfed, the Juju Sherpo and Terminator made this obsolete. With the Chimera 5 Hyperion, you could only clear rooms with starred mobs, not mini-bosses. To deal with mini-bosses, you would either ask a DPS class to leap, or you would have to switch to damage gear just to deal with the mini-boss. However, with the Terminator and Juju Bow, you have virtually identical clearing speeds to a Hyperion, safer clearing, and you could also do mini-bosses. To up the ante, Wither Impact was now solely used for its absorption hearts, not the damage. Chimera increased the mana cost of Wither Impact by 2 times because you couldn't have Ultimate Wise on the sword. This made it unsuitable for the burst healing that was now used with Wither Impact. Players panic sold their Chimera 5 Hyperions for over 1 billion coin loss, but there was no one to buy them. Currently, the only use for Chimera in the game is very niche. You can use a Chimera 5 Daedalus Axe for a tiny bit more magic firing on Enderman Slayer, but most players cannot survive the boss with the pitiful damage of the Daedalus Axe. The enchant is now under 70 mil and dropping fast. The future of Chimera. Chimera needs a massive buff. Admins made the rarest and most expensive enchantment in the game utterly useless. No RPG should have a mechanic like this. Admins may buff or change Chimera in the subsequent months, but it is hard to tell. I really hope you enjoyed the rise and fall of Chimera. Please read the pinned comment for more information, and also make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Bye!